Well, good afternoon, everybody. We'll start off our class the way we always do with the safety disclaimer. So these classes and what I say is not medical advice. Please consult with your healthcare professionals before making changes to manage your health. This presentation does not represent Parkinson Canada's endorsement of products or treatment related to Parkinson disease. This presentation is meant to provide general information. If you have specific questions about managing Parkinson's disease for yourself or for others, you can contact info@parkinson.ca, or you can always call 1-800-565-3000. Again, that contact information is 1-800-565-3000. Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is your at-home workout class brought to you by Parkinson Canada. This is class number 35. My name is Letain. I'm the events coordinator here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And so today's the first day that we're broadcasting live from the Parkinson Canada Super Walk group Facebook page. And the classes will be broadcast as always the same. They're going to be broadcast live Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 1:30 Central Time. And of course, all the recordings are going to be up at, you can find it either at the Parkinson Canada Super Walk page. You can also find it at the Parkinson Canada Manitoba Facebook group page. And last but not least, the Parkinson Canada YouTube channel. If you're new to the at-home workout class, welcome. It's great to have you on board. I'm so happy that you're able to participate. If you've been here before and you've been participating in the classes throughout this whole COVID-19 pandemic, thank you. I very much appreciate your support. So today is the first day. It's the month of July, so it's the 3rd of July, and it's the first day that we're really engaging with the Parkinson Canada Super Walk movement. So what we're trying to do with that is that if you've registered with the Parkinson Canada Super Walk, you can participate in the movement, and the goal is to help you meet your 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise per week. Again, so that the intensity is actually very important that we're looking for. We're looking for that moderate, closer to the vigorous side of things for when we are exercising. That's where the magic is going to happen. That's when you're really going to notice some improvements and being able to maintain the level that you're at. Excuse me. So the goals of our at-home workout classes are to really help improve or at least maintain the quality of life that you have right now. Also to help you manage the Parkinson disease symptoms that you might be living with. I'll talk a little bit later on into some of the benefits of exercise and living with Parkinson disease. But yes, just know this, exercise is really, really important if you are diagnosed with Parkinson disease. Of course, one of the biggest goals that we all want to have is that we want this to be fun. We want to be able to enjoy this. And this is a great opportunity if you have a caregiver, a really great time to connect with your caregiver. This is something that you can do together and have a lot of fun with. So yes, a few things just about the benefits of exercise. And of course, for the general population, there's a lot of benefits, but specifically if you're living with Parkinson's disease. So the way we have our class structured is that we have a warm-up, and that's going to last about 2 to 5 minutes in duration. And that's just going to be preparing our mind and our body for the exercise ahead. When we get to the cardio section, it's going to be about 15 to 20 minutes of continuous movement. It's going to be very good for your heart and lungs. It's going to be very engaging, and it's also going to be engaging with your neurosystem and also your musculoskeletal system. So when we're doing that, when we're moving, when we're engaging with our nervous system and our muscular system, our brain's talking, and those signals are being sent, those important signals that we're looking for to be transmitting, to have that dopamine being spread. That's what we want. Really good for our brain. I read some studies that kind of correlate the brain being stimulated. There's a neural factor called BDNF. It's like just think like a Miracle Grow for the brain. So when you're exercising, your brain's kind of ready to absorb and to receive information. And that's what we want. We continuously want to be engaging with our brain. You need your rest period, of course, but the more training that we can do, the better it's going to be for our nervous system and our muscular system. When we get into, after we've done our cardio, we're going to do our cardio cool down. And then, while it's important as we get older, we just can't stop exercising. It's just too much of a shock for our system. So we just try and slow things down. After our cardio cool down, we're going to be doing some strength training. And this is where we're going to be recruiting muscle fibers to help us do the movements that we're looking at. And when we're recruiting those muscle fibers, there's going to be more dopamine that's going to be sent, and that's what we're looking for, right? And there's also, I've read some studies that there's a protein that's prevalent when we are exercising, and that protein is going to help the dopamine bind on to send the signal through. After we do our strength conditioning, we're going to be doing some balance training. Again, our brain is continuously processing all the information and making those micro adjustments that are very important. Salut Denise, good to see you. Hi Robert, oh sorry. Hi Denise, sorry about your dad. Hi everybody else that's on there. By all means, send me some messages. It's awesome if you can send me messages during the class here. So balance, yes, our brain's making all those micro adjustments, our body's making those micro adjustments. So the more that we can do and practice it, the better it's going to be for keeping our balance. And then when we get into flexibility, again, great for managing our pain. We're going to have a greater range of motion within our joints. And yes, again, I've read some studies that show that you are able to help maintain or at least suppress some of the pain that you might be living with. Holy loud place today. It's never like this. I don't know what the situation is. I'll have to think about having classes inside more often. Okay, just talk a little bit about safety here. Have you taken your meds today? Are you taking your meds regularly? If you are taking them regularly, that is awesome. That's what we want. It's going to be better for you. You're going to know your on times and your off times, but it's also going to be better for your caregiver because they're going to know your on times and your off times. Sleep hygiene. So I like to stress going to bed at the same time every night and going through the same routine, having good sleep hygiene. If you have a good sleep, you're going to have the energy to do classes like this. Have you eaten today? Have you had enough water? If you haven't eaten and you haven't had enough water, now would be a good time to have it. You can come back to this class because it will be recorded, and you can come back to it when you're feeling a little bit stronger and ready to participate. The last thing I want to talk about is there is a difference between pain and soreness. So while we're doing the classes, if you experience any sort of pain, stop. We're not looking for pain. Soreness is different though. So say if you had like maybe some issues with your shoulder and I'm asking you to lift your arms above your head, if you feel some pain, you don't have to lift your hands above your head. You can keep them lower, or you don't even have to lift your arms at all. There's lots I could talk about safety, but we'll get into it over other classes coming up throughout this month. A few shout outs here before we get going. I'd like to give a great big shout out to Anne-Marie, Parkinson Canada au Quebec, and of course Danielle. Salut Danielle, and my old colleague Lisa. I'd like to say a shout out to Margaret, Nathan, Ken and Joan, Rick and Betty, Remy and Dana, Jean and Ron down in Florida, Susan, Alejandro, of course John, Amanda, Audrey, Donna and Donna, Helen, Allison, Ali, Maureen, Janice, Karen, Robin, Doug, Monique, Lorna. So great to hear from you this week, Lorna. Cindy, Blair, Kelly, Marilyn. Of course, we have Pete. Can't forget about Pete. Get a hold of me. You can send me messages during the class here. You can leave messages for me on the Facebook group pages. I try and get back to everybody as soon as I can. You can always add me as a personal friend as well, and I will accept your friendship, and you can send me messages there. I can understand if you feel a little bit uncomfortable asking a question if it's a large group of people that you don't know. So by all means, you could add me as a friend. All right, of course, a great big shout out to you, John. I would never forget about you. Okay, so let's get ready to move. I gotta change my hat. I'm no longer in Mexico. Gotta put on a sun visor because I'm gonna be standing and sitting in the sun. Got to keep the sun out of my eyes. Let's get ready to work. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to make sure that sight around you is safe, that there's no tripping hazards, and that if you were to fall, that I don't want you banging your head on a coffee table or anything like that. So just move that out of the way. If you're wearing shoes, make sure you're tying up your lace. Ideally, wear well-fitted shoes, shoes that you can tie up or you have Velcro. If you're wearing flip-flops, it's actually, I would say it's safer to go barefoot than to wear flip-flops. I just don't want you to be tripping and falling. We're trying to avoid falls at all costs. Okay, class, we start the same way every time. We're just going to ask you to sit up nice and straight if you're sitting down. Then we're going to pull our shoulders back. You're going to tuck your chin in. Let's think of our posture. So now we're just going to close our eyes. You're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Two more times, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Last time, opening your eyes, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay, from here we're going to do our slap, clap, snap. So what I'm going to ask you to do is you're going to slap your thighs 5 times, you're going to clap your hands 5 times, and you're going to snap your fingers 5 times. We're going to go from 5 down to 1 and then all the way back to 5. If you get lost, don't worry, you'll be able to get caught up. Follow along. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. How was that? If you were new to that, were you able to follow along? I sure hope so. Okay, so from here we're going to start picking things up a little bit more. So we're just going to start off with some shoulder rotations. We're going to rotate our shoulders back. Nice big circles if you can. And we're always looking for balance in this class. So if we're going backwards, we're eventually going to want to go forward. So let's go forwards with our rotations. How are you feeling? Still feeling up to following the class? So we're going to be looking at about 50 minutes worth of movement here. If you need to take a break, take a break. It's not a competition. Okay, now we're going to do some shoulder shrugs. We're going to go up and down, up and down. And of course, these classes are recorded, so you can come back to them at any time. And down, up, and down. Okay, from here we're going to transition into bringing our arms forward, shoulder height, and down. Shoulder height, and down. When we get to the top, let's make a fist. We're going to work on our grip strength at the same time. So 2 birds with 1 stone. And down. Up. And down. Up. And down. One arm. Up. And down. Up. And down. Other arm. Up. And down. Up. And down. Together. Up. And down. Up. Okay, that's our upper body. Now it's time for us to engage with our lower body. Just have your hands on your hips like this. We're just going to do some heel taps. So it's going to heel tap and back. Tap and back. I'm going to keep the class a little bit slower today. So I just want to make sure I'm meeting everybody's needs. So I will give you some alternatives if you do need to exercise a little bit more intensely or a little bit harder. I'll show you some alternatives that you can do to get your good workout in at the same time. But like I said, I'm trying to meet everybody's needs, so we're going to slow things down today. Thinking of our posture, sitting up nice and straight, shoulders back, you'll tap and back, tap and back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so that's it for a warm-up. If you need to have a sip of water, now would be a great time to grab a sip of water. Actually, I'm going to have a sip of water. And we're going to transition into our cardiovascular work right now. Okay, so this is her go-to move. If you get lost anywhere along the lines with the choreography or the directions, or you just get a little bit too tired to follow along, let's just go to a march. So this will be our go-to move. Again, for our cardiovascular section, we're looking at about 15 to 20 minutes worth of exercise here. Continuous movement. So it's march and march. March, 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 march. March, 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 march. Keep going. March, 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 march. So you can, of course, do this standing up or sitting down. If you're sitting down, actually, this is going to be harder to do sitting down than standing up. But for those of you that want to stand up, by all means, stand up. March, 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 march. Oh, my cat Kona has just come and lied down right in front of me. What a crazy cat. Oh, well, we got a visitor along with all the birds. So let's get our arms going here. March, 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 march. March, 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 march. Okay, so we got that going on. That's good. So one way we can change the intensity, bring things up a notch, is that we can make our movements larger. So when you're marching, to make a movement larger, what we can do is we can bring our knees high. I'm going to do this standing up. By all means, sit down. If you want to continue sitting down, or if you have to sit down. Like I said, it's harder to do this sitting down than it is standing up. March, 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 march. Okay, so from here we're going to go high knees in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're going high knee and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hey, march it out. March, 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 march. Kona, are you going to march with me? Oh, she's going to march away. See you later, Kona. March, 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 march. So we're going to try and do those high knees one more time. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going up and down, up and down. High knees, high knee. 4, 3, 2, and 1. March it out. March, 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 march. Keep it going. Alright, so another way that we can change the intensity level is that we can pick up the pace. So we're going to go for a little bit of a run here. Go at a pace that's best for you. If you can keep up, that's awesome. If you can't, don't worry. Again, it's not a competition. The big thing is we got to challenge ourselves. We got to push ourselves outside our comfort zone. And a great way to be able to measure that is through the talk test. So when you're doing the talk test, what I'm thinking is you're able to exercise and you're able to talk, but it's going to take a little bit of effort to talk. Like say if you're able to sing and exercise, well then you know you got to start picking it up. So you got to start working out a little bit faster, or you're going to have larger movements. So you can hear from my huffing and puffing that it's a little bit hard for me to talk. That's what we're looking for. So we're going to pick up the pace in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. March, 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 march. March, 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 march. Got it? Just think of all those Olympic marathoners. Those people are racing for like a couple of hours, running 26.25 miles, and they do a lot of training. So they're doing a lot of this. So your body does adapt. That's a really good thing about exercise. Your body does adapt. Your brain adapts. your nervous system adapts, and that's what we're looking for through exercise. That's why exercise is so good if you do have Parkinson's disease. It's engaging your body, it's engaging your muscles, it's engaging your nervous system and your brain. So keep it marching. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowing it down. All right. So it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. Let's slow things down. How does that feel for you? Okay, no arms, just our legs. Don't want to work too hard. Want to find that comfort zone between moderate to vigorous. Like I said, closer to vigorous. So we're going to slow things down for a little bit, then we're going to pick things up again. We're going to bring things wide, and we're going to bring them narrow. We're going to go for a bit of a run. Okay, upper body. March, 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 march. I'm going to do is sitting down. March, 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 march. Keep it going. Ready to go for another run? Okay. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. March, 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 march. Let's think of our posture. If you're sitting down, let's sit up nice and straight, pulling our shoulders back, and let's put some smiles on our faces. Let's enjoy this. Let's have some fun. March, 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 march. All those endorphins are running through our body, making you feel good. So when you're done all this exercise, you're going to feel good about yourself. A, you're going to feel good. B, you're going to look marvelous. March, 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 march. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, slowing it down. March, 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 march. That was a good run. March, 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 march. Okay, so, I got a moth here today. Oh, a little Garden of Eden today. March, 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 march. So, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it wide. So we're going to go wide, wide, narrow, narrow. So when I say wide, you're going to bring your feet wide. And then when I say narrow, you're going to bring your feet back into a narrow position. So here we go. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, 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 narrow, narrow. Narrow, narrow. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. How's that? If you find that too confusing, you can just do the lower body if you want. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Let's slow it down a little bit. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. I'm going to add my arms in. If you find that too hard to do, you can just do the arms too, by all means. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's just march it out. So we're going to go for a little bit of run before we change up the exercise. We're going to transition into some heel taps after this. But we're going to go for a little bit of a run first. Again, this is the opportunity for us to challenge ourselves to push more closer to the vigorous side of things. We will slow things down, so we'll give you a chance to relax. So we're not going to make this last too long. So let's pick up the pace. Here we go. Last run. March, 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 march. March, 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 march. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, slow it down. That's the last of our run. Woo! No arms, just our legs. Okay, let you catch your breath a little bit before we transition into some heel taps. Alright. Again, when we're engaging with our body and our nervous system through exercise. That's what we want. We're trying to maintain those pathways. We're trying to maintain the muscle mass that we have, at least maintain. Hopefully even get a little bit more. But as we get older, it gets harder to get more, or to create more muscle fibers. But we can at least maintain what we have. March, 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 march. Okay, no arms, just our legs. Let's transition into some heel taps in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Heel tap and back. Heel tap and back. Tap and back. Tap and back. There we go. Oh, we got it. Tap and back. So we're using similar muscles, but they have changed a little bit. Motions from marching to doing heel taps. It probably feels good. It's a nice relief, especially if you're sitting down. Like I said, ideally, what we're trying to do is just engage with our muscles for about 15 to 20 minutes here of continuous exercise. Heel tap and back, tap and back. We add some arms and back, tap and back, tap and back. Okay. So the more muscles that we have moving, the better it is. So if we can engage with our upper body and our lower body at the same time, that's a bonus. Sometimes it gets a little bit hard though, coordination-wise, just following the choreography. So if you can't do both, don't worry, just do one or the other. Okay, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to do 2 times per leg. Here's 1 and 2. Other side, 1 and 2. Change it here, 1 and 2. Change it up, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Now we're doing 3. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Change it up. 1, 2, 3. Change it here. 1, 2, 3. Change it here. 1, 2. Now we're doing 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Change it up. 2, 3, change it here. 1, 2, 4, change it up last time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just alternate, no arms, back and out. Tap and out. Tap and tap. Tap and tap. So, how was that for you? Able to follow along? Fantastic if you were able to. If you weren't, at least you tried. That's more than half the battle. Just getting out and trying to do something for the first time, doing as much as you can, is by far way more impressive than somebody that can do a whole bunch but only kind of do half the amount that they can do. So if you weren't able to do as much as you wanted to do, that's all right. Like I said, congratulations. You did as many as you can. Okay, so from here we're going to try. It's a bit of a tricky step. It's called the V step. But we're going to try and work our way there. If you can, awesome. If you can't, just follow along as best you can. So with the V step, we're slowly going to build. So we're going to bring one heel up, then the other heel up, then one heel back, and the other heel back. It's going to look like this. Up, and up, back, and back. Forward, forward, back, and back. Forward, forward, back, and back. Okay, how's that? Forward, forward, back. So it's going to pick it up. So we're going to go forward, forward, back, and back. Forward, forward, back, and back. All right. So if you need the extra engagement, if you need to work on a little bit harder, we can add some arms. We can add some upper body into this. So how about let's try this. So forward, forward, back, and back. Forward, forward, back, and back. So I'm bringing my hands up to about shoulder height. Forward, forward, back, and back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. No arms. So, like I said, we're going to try and transition into the V step. So it's very similar to this, except just think you have an imaginary clock on the ground, and you're going to put your right foot at the 2 o'clock position, and you're going to put your left foot at the 10 o'clock position, and then both feet will come back to the 6 o'clock position. Ready? Here we go. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, and 6. All right. So if you can do this, great. If you can't do this, it's okay. Just keep on moving. Again, we're just looking for that 15 to 20 minutes of continuous movement. That's a big thing. For those of you that need the extra workout, you can add our upper body. So it'll look 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2, 10. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, 6. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, halfway, 4, 3, 2, and 1. No arms. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's march it out. All right, gang. We've already done 17 minutes worth here. So we're going to go for a little bit of a run before we transition into our cardio cool down here. So this is like the big crescendo. This is like the start of the weekend for us. Like, it's Friday today. It's like July the 3rd. Beautiful day here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And we're going to start off the weekend feeling as best we can. We're going to go for a little bit of a run. Here we go. March, 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 and march. March, 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 and march. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, no arms. All right, we just finished our cardio section here. We did 19 full minutes there. All right. March, 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 and march. Okay, let's think of our posture. If you're sitting down, sit up nice and straight. For those of you that are standing, oh, it feels good to stand. Like I said, it's harder to do those things sitting down than it is standing up. March, 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 and march. Okay, from here, no arms. And what we're going to do is that we're just going to tap our toe. So it's going to be tap, 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 and tap. So this is the cool down. Now it's really important that we spend about 3 to 5 minutes of cooling down here, because as we get older, it takes a while for everything to kind of slow down. So if we stop instantly, it's a big shock to our system. We don't want to shock our system. We want to be able to enjoy exercise. So we got to slowly bring our heart rate down, bring our breathing rate back to normal. Now let's tap our heel, tap, 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 and tap. What we do to one side, let's do to the other. We're going to tap our toe, tap, 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 and tap. Again, you should start feeling your heart rate slowing down. It'll be a little bit, won't be pounding as hard. Your breathing will be less frequent, less deep, more relaxed. Let's tap our heels. Tap, 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 and tap. Okay. So from here, now we're going to pick some apples. So when I say pick some apples, you're going to pretend you're picking some apples in an imaginary tree. So you're going to reach up across your body. You're going to grab that apple. You're going to pull it down. You're going to put it in the basket. Now you're going to reach across your body. Other way, you're going to grab the apple, pull it down, put it in the basket. Again, the purpose of the cardio cool down is to slow down our heart rate, slow down our breathing rate, Keep your head held high. Definitely want to keep your head above the level of your heart. Head held high. Always just try and think of our posture. Across and down. Across and down. One more time, each side. And down. Across and down. Now we're going to swing our arms from side to side. Slowing things down. Both arms. You could bring your hands up to shoulder height. Again, all that blood that we used for all our cardio work, all that marching, all those V-steps. So our big muscles in our body, our glutes, our butt, our quadriceps, these muscles here, they've been pigs, they've been hogs, they've been trying to take all the oxygenated blood because they needed it. They were doing all the work. So now with the cardiac cool down, we're just trying to distribute the blood through the rest of our body, to our fingers, our hands, our toes, and most importantly, our brain. Okay, one arm, slow, nice and purposeful. And now the other arm, across. Okay, one more time. Alright, well that's it. We finished our warm-up, we finished our cardio. You've now just finished your cardio cool down. Now would be a great time to grab a sip of water, which I'm going to do because it is toasty hot out here. Ooh, tasted great. Okay, so typically after we've done our cardio cool down, we transition into our strength training. So today we're going to be focusing on our lower body and our core. I like to focus a lot on our lower body because these are the muscles that are really associated with preventing falls. Like our quadriceps right here, these muscles in the front of our legs, these are our quadriceps femoris. These are the large muscles. Of course, we have our butts or our glutes. They're also important to work on and to exercise and to try and strengthen. And of course our calves, because these are the muscles associated with standing and walking. And what we're trying to do, especially if you've been dealing with sort of freezing episodes with Parkinson's disease, we have a strong lower, a strong core. It's going to help us with our balance here. We're going to get into some balance training later on, but just know that the more times that we can be trying to strengthen our muscles, the better it's going to be for us. Okay, so we're going to start off. We're going to get the hard work done out of the way first. So for those of you that have been around these classes for a while now, you're going to recognize what I'm doing. We're going to be doing the sit to stand. These are tough. So some people call these squats. These are like a reverse squat. So you're going to need a chair. I'm going to demonstrate from the side so you can see how I want you to do it. So again, I'm going to sit up nice and straight. I'm going to pull my shoulders back. I'm going to move my butt towards the end of the chair here. Feet definitely have to be wider than your shoulders. So the nice wide platform, the better it's going to be for your stability, and that's what you're going to be looking for. If you need something to hang on to or you need to touch onto a wall, by all means you can do that. Your safety is paramount to me. So I'm going to be sitting up nice and straight. I'm going to have my arms out in front, and I'm slowly going to, at a count of 3, I'm going to stand up, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. And you'll notice there when I was sitting down, I'm not bending over. What I'm doing is I'm shooting my butt to the back, and that's what you're going to want to be doing. I'll demonstrate one more time. I'm going up and down. When I go down, I shoot my butt to the back. And for those of you that can only stand this much, if that's all you can do, I think that's fantastic. That's actually the hardest part to doing the sit to stand, is getting your butt off the chair. So if that's all you can do, I think that's great. For those of you that have arm rests and you need to use the arm rests, by all means you can use those. But if you don't need to use them, let's try not to use them. So what we're going to try and do, we're going to try and do 6 sit to stands right now. Again, if you can only stand up that much, that's great. That's all you need to do. So we're going to go up, 2, 3, and down, 2. Shoot that butt back. Here's 2, and down. Here's 3. Halfway there, gang. Halfway there. And here's 4. And 5. One more to do after this, gang. One more. And 6. Woo! Wowzers. Yes, you do feel that right in your big quadriceps here. So if you were able to do all 6, great. Congratulations. If you weren't able to, that's okay. It's not a competition. You did as many as you could do. That's all we can ask for. Here, we're just going to rest for a little bit. We're going to stretch our abdominal, our obliques here. So what I'm going to ask you to do is sit up nice and straight. You're just going to twist your trunk. You can grab a chair. You should feel the stretch along the outside of your side of your body here. This is your oblique region. Let's hold it there. Again, we're looking for balance. So what we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. Hold that stretch. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, believe it or not, we have 6 more sit to stand. Again, it's hard work. If you can only do 1, that's all you can do. If you can only do 2, that's all you can do. If you only stand up that much, that's all right. It's not a contest. But if you can do 6, and you can do the full sit to stand, let's do them. Again, feet nice and wide, wider than your shoulders. Standing up and down. Here's 2. And down. 3. And down. 4. And down. 5. And down. Shoot that last one, gang. Here's 6. And down. Woo! That was tough, wasn't it? Okay. So from here, we're going to transition while we're sitting. We're going to do some chair crunches. And the reason why we're doing our chair crunches is that we want to keep our abdominal core strong. So some of you that are living with Parkinson's disease, the disease can manifest itself, as you all know. So maybe it's not so visible, where you could be dealing with some internal symptoms. It's important that we keep our abdominal muscles really strong, as strong as we can. So we got to exercise them. And what we're going to do now, they're called chair crunches. Just think of a sit-up like back in the old days when we used to do sit-ups. It's like that, except it's a little bit safer. But again, you're going to be working your abdominal core. So from a seated position, I want you to sit up nice and straight. You're going to pull your butt towards the end of the chair. Let's have our shoulders back. You can have your arms across your chest like this. You can have your hands on a lap, or you can have your arms out in front. Try not to hook your feet underneath the legs of your chair, because that's kind of defeating the purpose. You're working more leg muscles when you're doing this exercise if you do it that way. So try not to hook your feet below the legs of the chair. So I'm going to sitting up my straight. I'm leaning back so my shoulder blades touch the chair, and then I'm sitting back up. You see, it's kind of like a sit-up, and you're going to really feel it in your abdominal core. So that's what we're going to try and do 6. So here we go. Down, 2, 3, and up, 2, 3. So let's breathe out and in. That's 2, 3, halfway done. 4, woohoo, and 5. And we have one more. Here's 6. All right. How was that for you? Good, I hope. All right. So we're going to try 6 more, but let's do a little bit of a stretch again. We're going to rotate our trunk. We're going to stretch out our obliques here. Twisting from one side. And now let's twist to the other. Head held high. Let's get some smiles on our faces. All right, so we're going to try 4 more. We can at least try 4. We just did 6. We're going to do 4 so that we're going to have an even 10. Okay, again, sitting up nice and straight. Let's get towards the end of your chair. This time I'm going to cross my arms across my chest. This is actually harder to do it this way than having your arms out in front. So I'm going to cross my arms across my chest, sitting up nice and straight. I'm leaning back, 2, 3, and up, 2. And that's way harder. Here's 2. And 3. Whoa. And last one. Oh, yeah. Woo, felt that. Good. We got that done all the way. Okay, so from here, what we're going to transition to, I'm going to ask if you're sitting down, you can do this. You're just going to be standing up on your toes and down. But if you're standing up, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to ask you to hang on to the back of the chair, at least have a hand on a wall, just to help us with our stability. So I've got my hands on the chair. I'm going to be going up on my toes and then down back onto my flat feet. So going up, 2, 3, and down, 2. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, one more, and 6. All right. We're going to do some more of those, but first of all, we're going to try a different exercise. What we're going to be raising our knee for a count of 3, then kicking our foot out for a count of 3, back and down. I'll demonstrate to show you what it looks like. Hanging on to a chair just to help support me. I'm bringing my knee up in the air, and my foot goes out, foot comes back, and my foot goes down. We're going to do 4 each leg. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 one leg, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other leg. Ready, gang? Here we go. Up, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, back, and down. That's 1. So of course, we're also working on our balance right now, and that's a good thing. Again, just trying to prevent falls, working on our balance, working on our muscles in our leg, our lower body. Those are all associated with helping us prevent falls. We have 1 more. Up, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3. Back, 2, 3. And down, 2, 3. So when we're doing our strength training like this, again, it's really important that we do it slow, make it very purposeful. It's actually harder to do something slow than it is fast. So the slower we can do it, the better it's going to be for us. We're going up, out, back, and down. That's 1. Here's 2. Out, back, and down. Up, out, back, and down. Last one. Up, out, back, and down. All right. Like I said, we're not over with our calf raises, so we're going to do 6 of these. Again, I'm hanging on to a chair just to help me be stable. I'm going to have my feet wider than my shoulders. Again, the wider platform we have, the better and safer it's going to be for us. So we're going up and down. That's 1. Here's 2, 3, up, and 1, 2, 3, down. 1, 2, 3, up, 3, 2, 1, down, up, and down. Last one. Up and down. All right. So that's what time we have for our strength. So now what we're going to work on is that we're going to do our balance training. And unfortunately, if you're in a chair and you're not able to stand, you won't be able to do some of these exercises. We will get some in for you, but for these next few, they will have to be done from a standing position. So what I'm going to ask you to do is stand, get your feet wider than your shoulders. What I'm going to ask you to do is just start off closing one eye, standing still. It's amazing how much we rely on our vision for our balance. We also use our inner ear, kind of is related to our balance. So one eye's closed. Now transition the other eye. One eye open, one eye closed. Changing it up. One eye open. One One last time, changing it up. Fantastic. Okay, so from there, what we're going to transition into is that we're going to do shifting our weight from one leg to the other. So I'm shifting to the side, my toes on the ground. You can stick your arm out. It will help out with your balance. So keeping your one toe on the ground. For those of you that need the extra challenge, you can bring your foot up off the ground. Again, our brain is processing all this information, making all the micro adjustments, so that if ever your balance comes into jeopardy, your brain subconsciously is going to be able to make those micro adjustments with your muscles. They're going to be able to talk to each other so that you can keep your balance. So what we do to one side, we got to do to the other. Toe on the ground. We're just shifting our weight to one side. You can stick your arms out. It will help out. Think of those tightrope walkers. You know how they're holding those bars. It helps distribute their weight. So that's what we're going to do, sticking our arms out like this. For those of you that need the extra challenge, you can bring your foot up off the ground. You could let go of the chair or a wall if you need to, but only if you feel confident that you can do it. Again, it's not a competition. Just going to hold it there like that. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is I call rocking. So my feet are definitely wider than my shoulders. I'm going to stagger my feet. So I'm going to have one foot in front and one foot in the back. You can keep your hand on the chair for some stability if you need to. We're going to be shifting our weight forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Okay, how is that for you? Good, I hope. Okay, from here what we're going to do, we're going to transition just lifting our one leg up. You can have your one leg in front of you, or if you want, you can have it behind, whatever is best for you. Again, our brain is speaking to, for me it would be speaking to the right side of and my left side of my body, but all the micro adjustments are happening with my knee right here. So it's just making all those movements to keep my balance. Again, our brain is processing all that information, so it's almost second nature. So it's really important that we work on our balance as we get older. It doesn't matter if you're living with Parkinson's disease or not. Our balance does, become an issue. But it doesn't have to be a big issue if we work at it regularly. Now, we do to one side, we got to do to the other. You will have one dominant leg. One leg you'll find it easier to stand on than the other. For those of you that have done any sort of slalom skiing, you realize usually some people like to have their strong leg forward or the strong leg back. You'll know which leg is your stronger leg. And a good way to measure that is when you're going downstairs, whichever leg you put down first, whatever foot you put down first, that's typically your stronger leg. All right. We did that. So from here, what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to have some exercise for people that can't stand up. We're still able to work on our balance. So again, it's not one of those sexy things, but it's a real life situation. Going to the washroom or getting out of bed. You do have to make the adjustments to getting out of bed or getting off the toilet. So we're going to be leaning forward. And believe it or not, for some people, for those of you that can believe this, you'll know why it's important. We have to work on this. So leaning forward like this. We're resting our weight on the balls of our feet, not on our toes, but the balls of our feet, just keeping our balance like this. I find the best thing that we can do is to keep your head held high and back. We're going to try that again. Leaning forward, all the weight on the balls of our feet, like you're getting off a toilet or you're getting out of bed. These are real things. And back. So the more times that we can practice this and keep our muscles strong and in shape as best we want them to be, it's going to lead into us being independent that much longer. And ideally, that's what we want. We want to be able to live independently for as long as possible, and of course, with a good quality of life. try that one last time. We're leaning forward on the balls of our feet. We're holding it there. And back. All right. Well, we just finished off our balance training. We finished off our strength training. We finished off our cardio cool down, our cardio, and our warm-up. Now we have some stretching and flexibility. Then we're going to do some Parkinson-specific exercises. So let's start off with a nice big stretch. Just a chest stretch. So we're going to be bringing our hands wide. So you should feel the stretch across your chest like this. If it hurts too much to have your arms up high, you can have your arms lower. That's fine. Let's hold that stretch. Again, when we're working on our flexibility and our stretching, that's going to help us manage some of the pain that you might be living with when you do have the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. So it's good to stretch our muscles. Now from here, we're going to transition into a bear hug. So we're going to crisscross our arms. You're going to bring your fingers back as far as you can. You're going to hold. This might be the only hug I get today. My wife and daughter are going off to Riding Mountain National Park for a nice camping experience with family and friends. So I'm not going to get any hugs from my wife and my daughter, but I'm going to have my twin boys around, so I'm sure I'll be doing some snuggling with them. Okay. Try that big chest stretch again. Holding it there. Oh, that feels good. And we're going to crisscross our arms the other way. Ideally, what we're looking for is to hold each stretch for about 30 seconds. So for the purpose of this class, we're not able to do 30 seconds per stretch because that's going to eat up a lot of time. But for yourself, when you're practicing on your own, I would definitely suggest that you work on your flexibility every day. You're going to want to hold that for about 30 seconds. It takes a while for your brain to send the signals to your muscles and saying, it's okay, you can relax, you can lengthen out, you can stretch. All right. So from there, what we're going to stretch our inner thigh, sticking one leg out. You should feel the stretch right along your inner thigh, around your groin area. Think of our posture, sitting up nice and straight. Smiles on our faces. We're almost done our class for the day. TGIF. What we do to one side, we got to do to the other. Hold that stretch. Oh, that feels good. Oh, you know who I forgot to give a shout out to? Hello, Blair. Great to see you. Forgot to say hi to Blair. Blair is a regular and he's a friend of Parkinson Canada. He's also on the board, I believe, for U-Turn Parkinson. U-Turn Parkinson here in Winnipeg. Okay, now let's stretch out our neck. I'd like to do that. For those of you maybe that didn't sleep very well last night, let's stretch out our neck. So we're going to put one ear down towards the shoulder. You should feel the stretch along the side of your neck like that. And now the other side. Hold it there. Oh, it feels good. Now we're going to bring our chin to our chest. So one thing when we're stretching our neck, one thing I never suggest that you do is to reef your head backwards. So you have your vertebrae are so small in your neck and so susceptible to being injured that try not to make it smaller. When you do it smaller, let's say you're just asking for problems. So let's put our head to a neutral position. Let's do a shoulder check. We're looking over to one side. Just a nice gentle stretch. Not too far. Holding it there, like you're driving a car, doing a shoulder check. Making sure it's okay. We do to one side, we do to the other, looking over. Holding it there. Alright. We've just going to start stretching. Now let's get into some Parkinson specific exercises here. Again, some of these things might not be very sexy, but we don't care. We don't care about sexy. What we're looking for is functionality. What we're looking for is to have quality. So from here, we're going to stretch out our tongue. So as you well know, or some of you all know, that it gets a little bit more challenging to talk. And often people don't think of the tongue as being a muscle, but it is. So we do need to exercise that. So we're going to stick our tongue out and up. We're going to hold it there. And back in. Now we're going to go out and down. And in. Now we're going to go out and to the side. And in, out and to the other side. Now we're going to work on our vowels. So our vowels in English, we pronounce them A, E, I, O, and U. So what I suggest is if you can do this in front of a mirror, all the better. So you can actually see the shape of your mouth. What we're trying to do is almost over-exaggerate the shape of our mouth so that the sounds are coming out properly as best as that we can. So here we go. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. One more time. A, E, I, O, U. All right, so from here we're going to work on our manual dexterity, our fingers. Again, this is something people often overlook. For those of you that are living with Parkinson's disease, or those of you with arthritis, you know that this can be challenging. Like we tried to do with our class the other week. I was putting on a button-up shirt, wearing gloves. People take that for granted. So we do have to work at it, and if we can work at it every day, all the better. So we're going to touch our index to our thumb, our middle to our thumb, our ring fingers to our thumb, and pinky. Index, middle, ring, pinky. Index, middle, ring, pinky. One more time. Index, middle, ring, pinky. So yes, we use our fingers like peeling bananas, holding a fork, holding a pen to write. Also to tie our shoes or put on a button shirt or pull up our zipper. So some things that people take for granted if you're able-bodied, yes, that we're not taking for granted, and that we're going to do everything we can to at least maintain the level that we have. We're going to do everything we can to fight off Parkinson's disease. So we're going to finish off with the last two exercises. We're going to stretch out our cheeks. We're going to place the palm of your hand against your cheek. You're going to pull to the side and up. So you're stretching all those little facial muscles connected to your mouth. Sometimes drooling becomes a bit of an issue. And that's because these muscles, these tiny little muscles, aren't as soft and supple and as flexible as they once were. They get frozen. We're doing what we can to fight off that frozen mask. Holding that stretch. And again, what we do to one side, we do to the other. Pulling to the side and back. Holding it there. And one more time, each side. Pulling it back and up. Holding that stretch. And hold it there. And now the last time, other side. Hold that stretch. Okay, and let's finish off with some smiles. We're going to have our great big politician smiles. There you go, let's see those teeth. Again, we're doing what we can to fight off that Parkinson mask. Stretching those muscles, exercising them. Hold that smile. Hold it, hold it. Okay, and relax, we're done. But a few things before I sign off here. Yes, I talked a little bit about functional fitness, like tying shoelaces, pulling up zippers, putting on button shirts, getting out of bed, getting on and off a toilet. So I'm going to try and focus more next week on exercises, and I'm going to try and do some demonstrations. I'm going to make some videos, and I'm going to talk about which muscles are involved with doing those day-to-day sort of activities. I also want you to reward yourself this weekend. You just did this class. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. You need to reward yourself a little bit. So you can reward yourself by, like I said, maybe buying yourself some new shoelaces for your shoes. You don't have to go buy new shoes. That's expensive. and maybe some new shoelaces for your shoes. Just something small like that to remind yourself, you know what, I accomplished something. I did it. I'm doing what I can to have the best quality of life I can. I'd also like to talk to you about the Parkinson Canada Super Walk. It is going. We are making it happen. It's going to be on Saturday, September the 12th, right across our great nation. And it's going to be a virtual walk this year, though. So instead of having the large collective events like we've had in the past, due to the current pandemic, we've had to change things. If you had a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, you know what change is all about. Your caregivers know what change is all about. So at Parkinson Canada, we too have had to change, and we've changed the collective event to being a virtual event. So we're asking you to walk in your neighborhood or a place that's best for you with family and friends, keeping social distancing protocol into consideration, but really enjoying the day. Having a great time on Saturday, September the 12th. We're still collecting funds because we have all the programming that we're offering you through Parkinson Canada, all the research that we're doing, and because one day we want to have a cure to Parkinson's disease, and the only way to do that is to help fund our scientists, and that takes money. So like I said, go check out the Superwalk website. That's www.superwalk.ca. That's www.superwalk.ca. It's a brand new website this year, way easier to navigate, get yourself around, to be able to find teams, to start your own team, and there's some really helpful tools. There's a walk in the box that kind of lays out all the steps and gives you some ideas for posters and different ideas for being able to celebrate the day on Saturday, September the 12th. So gang, that's it. Thanks for coming in, and I look forward to seeing you next week. If you want, it would be a big help if you can give us a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Just subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. Ask me any sort of questions on the Parkinson Canada Superwalk group page. You can also find me at the Parkinson Canada Manitoba Facebook group page as well. So until then, we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.